Welcome back to the channel. I am Shelby, aka 88 Fox, and today we are going to start the teardown of the Courier. This 1974 Ford Courier that we are doing a TDI Volkswagen diesel swap in. So let me show you what I plan on getting done, and then we shall do it. So this thing is quite the rust. Bucket. Anybody that's ever worked on any old vehicles knows that, just getting things apart can be pretty difficult. So we're going to start with taking this front end off here, and then we're going to take these fenders and so on off. It's really hard to turn right now because it's got these big wheels on it. The reason it's got these wheels on it, I got them for $100 off Facebook because the original wheels that came on it, everything was flat or blown out. So I don't think we're going to be doing any kind of restoration on these wheels, but I might keep a couple as a spare or something later down the road. But yeah, I get like 0 turn radius out of this, so I'm going to take, because it bumps to these fenders here. So take the front end off, take the fenders off. It'll allow me to turn it a little bit more, and then we'll get it over here on the lift where we currently have the 88 Fox, and we will pull this old motor and transmission out. I do know that I might try to see about getting this thing started outside of the truck at some point in time. I do know this transmission has a bad clutch, so on, so I ain't gonna be driving anytime soon, but we'll see what happens. If I'm gonna get rid of it or if I want to do something different with it, probably just get rid of it. But anyways, we'll get this motor out and then start cleaning up everything. It's just real nasty truck. It's been sitting in this guy's yard for decades. I think the last known registration on it was like 92, considering I was born in 89. I was only 3 years old the last time this truck ran. Got a couple issues in the floorboard here, so yeah. Why I decided I wanted to do this, not really sure. I've always wanted a mini truck, so here we go. At least the front windshield's good. That's always a perk. Cool, let's get started. We didn't even get the hood off before we started running into problems. So snap that bolt. Dang, I cut myself too. Snap that bolt off, which goes right here on the hood. Yeah. Hopefully not a sign of things to come. Luckily, the second bolt was this. Which was actually pretty easy to get off. I just had to kind of put some stuff together to make it work, but I don't think that'll be going back on. Alright, well, hood's off. Thank you TDI for supporting the hood while I was doing that. Let's carry on. Alright, so we've got the front grille, bumper, and the fenders off. This side was an absolute nightmare, so yeah, my GoPro died like right in the middle of it. But let's count how many bolts broke. One, let's see, good, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts, and all I did was take part of the front end off. So yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of bolt extraction, a lot of fun, it seems like, coming out of this. But you know, at least there's like not a lot of truck here, so maybe we can get away with a limited amount of bolts breaking for the rest of the process. So next step is, now that I can turn the wheels a little bit more free, I'll be able to push this over here into the lift. We'll tear apart the rest of this front end, drain all the fluids if there is any. There's some oil in it, I know that for sure. Drain all the fluids, and then we will be pulling the motor. I think it looks kind of cool like that. Cool. Carry on. And we're back. I got the Courier over to the lift. You should have seen me move that thing. It was actually pretty funny. But we're gonna go ahead and take apart some of this stuff up top. Take the valve cover off so that I can have like a lift point for the engine hoist, and then we will raise it up and disconnect the drive shaft, transmission, drain all the fluids out. Hopefully not get too much on the floor, but if you've ever pulled motors, you know that you can try, but it doesn't really work out too well all the time. So cool, not much to see, so I'll just kind of update y'all once we've got it up in the air. Cool. Alright, we got the Courier in the air. I got most of the stuff off the top off, but I'm kind of trying to reevaluate my approach. I don't want to take a lot of stuff off the top of it because I just want to kind of get this motor pulled and be done with it for now. So I'm gonna take the transmission out by itself. That way it'll allow me to lift straight up on the motor and pull it out, rather than, you know, having to come out at an angle. There's not a lot of room there, surprisingly. Yeah, and so I kind of want to get the whole motor and everything out all together. I'll take this radiator out, of course, but I haven't drained the fluids yet. But it'll be pretty easy to just take the transmission off first. I've already got the shifter out of the way, which you can see that hole coming through there. So I just got to remove the drive shaft, which is like a 2-piece drive shaft. So I guess I'll have to disconnect it right there, remove those 2 bolts, and then it should pull out from there. And then you've got multiple bell housing bolts, your starter up there, and then we just have to disconnect this clutch cable, which I didn't know this is hydraulic. That's cool, which is good because the transmission that's going in is hydraulic as well, so maybe I won't have to change out the slave cylinder and all that. But we'll drop that transmission, and then we'll loosen up these motor mount bolts, and it should make it pretty easy to come out up top here. All right, we got the transmission out. Wasn't too bad. Bolts just super tight. The one good thing is like every bolt, the trans cross member, the motor to transmission and motor bolts, the drive shaft bolts, like everything is a 14 mil, which is great. Just interesting how you had to get some of it, but not too bad at all. So yeah, that transmission weighed every bit of like 40 pounds. So I don't even know that I needed a transmission jack, but I used it to prop it up a little bit. So I think we'll go ahead and drain the oil, drain the radiator. Might pop this clutch off so I can just have a little bit more clearance right up here through this firewall. And we'll loosen these motor mount bolts. I don't even really know where I want to loosen those at. I think I might loosen them right here, because this looks like it's going to be too much of a pain. Yeah, that looks like, okay, yeah. So this is the whole assembly, motor mount. There's where it attaches to the actual motor right there. Probably end up reusing this spot. Maybe even some of this metal for the TDI when it goes in. Yeah, I think everything else is disconnected. So coolant, oil, and then we should be able to pull this motor out. Not bad. Alright, so I got the motor mounts loose. I didn't take the valve cover off like I originally said I was going to do, because this thing actually has like a hook thing right here. So I loosened off the motor mounts once I got some tension on it, so it's kind of at an angle, but we're going to go ahead and film this for research purposes. So I should be able to come straight up. Okay, there's that. Even though it's kind of cattywampus, I'll go ahead and cinch that back a little. Alright, she is free. So, I'll finish pulling this out, set it on a tire, and then we'll look and see what we got. Alright, so we got the motor out, transmission, everything out and gone. I think the next step that I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean everything up. So part of that is going to be I'm going to get this headlight harness taken out. That way I can kind of start to rebuild it, see if it is rebuildable or if I have to start from scratch. We're going to get rid of the rest of this harness, everything that goes up to these glass fuses, and then also going to move this degas bottle, or remove this degas bottle. Whatever all this is, looks like that might be your horn. I don't know, but all this is going to go. This is some emissions thing, maybe. I don't know. Clean it all out. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to use this slave cylinder, or slave whatever, but I might be able to still use the bottle. I don't know. We'll have to see exactly what's going on there. I've never really messed with hydraulic clutches, so I'm actually surprised that this 70s model has one. Have to do some research, see if we're going to keep that or not. For now, I want to keep the battery box right there. Obviously, this coil is going to go, all of this, which ignition stuff is going to be gone. But I still want to see if I can maintain the battery box right there. Then, once everything's cleaned out of here, I'm going to give it like just a really good scrub down, and pressure washing, and so on. Same time, I'm going to try to clean up the inside here a little bit. Ooh. Yep. I'm getting tired of getting dirty when I mess with this car, so I'll get a lot of this stuff cleaned up out of here. I'm gonna have to replace all these seals, and one nightmare, but we'll get there. I'm not gonna like sandblast it or anything right now. I think that I'm just going to clean it up, keep the patina that's on it, and then, you know, we'll just go from there. Cool. I'll get back when we get this cleaned up. Alright, so we got the Courier in the air. I spent quite a bit of time cleaning up stuff in the engine bay, so there's no wiring harness in here anymore. It actually all goes up through a little hole there, and then I've got it all sitting in the passenger seat, or the driver's seat. You can see the whole harness just chilling in there. Pretty simple, but yeah, the harness was chewed up pretty good, so we'll see if there's anything salvageable, but I don't know that I really need anything salvageable too much. I just gotta wire some headlights and some little side runners, and then the rest of it's, you know, more or less just engine up here. Some good things to note though are, I went through, I need to put my light back on here, but this frame is like super solid. So one of the big call outs about these old Couriers and Mazdas is that they have a lot of frame damage, frame rust. This one is really clean. It's got obviously some surface rust, but nothing wild. So once I actually do clean this portion of it up, the frame's solid, so it makes me happy. I've already kind of started thinking about my next move after we get it running. Is I'll probably tear it all back apart, pull the cab and the bed off, and then redo the frame. I don't know what they do. They paint it or whatever. Might get it sandblasted and all that other good stuff. Some of the things I've noticed are that at some point somebody put like some line in here and using that for the primary for the fuel. Let's see if I can see up here. So we'll have to drop this tank and then double check all that. The old line was all rotted, and so I ended up cutting it right here, pulling that way I wouldn't have any like extra confusing stuff in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and keep this where the horn was. Sorry, where the horn was right there, because I don't know, that bracket looks like it could be used for something. We'll find out. Yeah, so I was gonna drop this truck down and take it outside since it's a nice beautiful day and pressure wash it, but it looks like my pressure washer isn't working. I spent a total of 10 minutes trying to figure out what was wrong with it and couldn't figure it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take it down. We will clear out the back. I've got just a bunch of crap back there. And then I'm going to start tearing apart everything on the inside. That way we can just kind of clean it out, see what kind of problems we have inside. Actually, I did want to show you one other thing. Let me grab this. So look at this floor pan, I guess is what it's called. A really good condition. You got a little spot right there, and then you've got this little hole right here, which, like, if you look at it, it's kind of like a clean circle, or it was. So, oh no, never mind. I'm looking at it a little bit more. It was definitely rotted. But, that's kind of like the only patching I think that we'll have to do. We'll find out. I think that trans will fit in this trans tunnel. There is a lot of room. So this is the old trans that was in it. And that's new trans that's going in it. Yeah, it's a much stouter transmission, but I don't think that there was so much room in there that I don't think that we'll really have to deal with like modifying the tunnel too much. But if you look at where this shifter is compared to where that shifter is, you've got like a 4-inch difference there. So I don't know. I'm interested in slapping it all together and seeing what kind of fabrication we're going to need for transmissions and engine mounts and everything else. So that's what's next. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is take this TDI. We're going to go through it. I'm going to put the new timing kit on it, the upgraded injectors, and a couple other things. And sitting back there is the harness for it, and the engine harness and the ECU. But we're going to go through this, remove all the unnecessary stuff that we don't need for now, which would include the AC, some of this emissions crap, and then I think that I'm actually going to remove the power steering. I don't know. I don't think that has power steering. I don't know. Some of those things I'm going to have to answer. And then when my adapter plate comes in, which I've been waiting on now for 6 weeks. I get it, it's around the holiday season, but geez, it's been quite a while. When that adapter plate comes in, we'll put that on the back of this transmission, or back of this motor, bolt the transmission up, and then we'll try to figure out how to mount it in there, make some measurements, and then actually get some transmission and engine mounts in there. But yeah, that's what's coming up. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there. We got everything torn apart. We got a little bit more idea about path going forward. So happy for now. I wish my pressure washer worked. That would have been a cool little thing to show everybody, see how well it cleans up. But we'll get another one, or get this one fixed. We'll figure it out. Cool. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, all those things. Lots of fun. This project's going to be fun. We're still working on the 88. So old motor and trans are out, which are sitting over there, going to a buddy. New motor sitting over here, got to put it together. New transmission and clutch chilling over here. My bell housing and injectors are sitting over at Gearhead Performance, which is the ones that built the motor, and we'll be putting that together pretty soon. A little single turbo build on the 88 Fox for now. But yeah, again, like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things. And then, yeah, we'll see you on the next episode. Take care.